To the point, informative, entertaining, and protecting the Second Amendment. Welcome back to Elster's Rifles and Reloading. And I'm just going to make sure that my sound is up and running here. It sounds really good. And apparently we can't get enough of the 6.5 Grendels on the channel. Just a quick intro. I have PSA sending me their 12-inch flavor, the 12-inch AR pistol upper. I know some of you guys that have watched my channel, I have a very extensive PSA AR series on their pistols. And not only the 5.56, but also the 7.62 by 39. And those pistol lowers will work fantastic for this PSA 12-inch carbine length handguard. It's a 12-inch handguard, 12-inch barrel. And I'm really excited about getting this. And this should be in here next week. I need to also get some Fireform brass rolling for this for myself. And I know if you guys have been watching my channel as of late, we've been doing a reloading series live with Scott for his 20-inch 6.5 Grendel that he's doing for his PSA 6.5 Grendel, and he's getting ready for deer hunting. And PSA just happened to get a hold of me, and they're sending me, like I said, this 12-inch AR pistol upper. And that's going to work out great for my lower. And with that said, I also have to get some brass resized here, and I need to get that Fireform because I'm sure the headspace is very, very generous. I'm not going to go over all this again. It's probably going to be really similar to what Scott and I did. You know, I'm on vacation, and I figured, what the heck? I'm going to jump on here and do this live and have you guys join me. So I'm going to just get rolling here. Got some Starline brass here, brand new, never been touched before, 6.5 Grendel. And I'm going to pull out 50 total pieces here. And if you're out there watching, jump in the chat room, say hello. If you got any questions on reloading, make yourself known. I'll try my best to answer those questions. But I'm going to pull out 50 pieces here and load them up into the EP Integrations lockdown block. And we're going to get this lubed up in size and get this into the wash, get the lube off, and get some Fireform brass for this incoming 12-inch PSA upper. And it's going to be the ultimate brush gun for deer hunting. I got tons and tons of not only 6.5 Grendel Wolf ammunition. I probably got over 1,000 rounds, I'm sure. I'd have to double check in my cabinet over there. But with that being said, this should be the ultimate deer hunting pistol. Like I said, this is a 12-inch upper with a pistol AR lower, so it's not truly a rifle per se. And well, at least until the ATF changes their mind. But I'm going to load up 50 here into the block. And like I said, these EP Integrations lockdown reloading blocks are up for sale. And we got a bunch already boxed up, ready to go. We usually ship out on Mondays and Thursdays. And matter of fact, you can see I got some of the boxes down here that have the 3 plates. Just kind of show you. We got hundreds of these ready to rock and roll. So if you guys want to make that purchase, you know, you can see the 3 plates here. And nicely milled up. You got the 3 different plates. These stainless knobs here. And they are ready to rock and roll on the website right now. You place that order, we'll get that shipped out usually on Mondays and Thursdays. But let me just quick refresh this. I want to make sure that my chats are working properly here. Seems like as of late I haven't. So make sure my sound is working. But yeah, so I got 50 out here, and I'm just going to quick double check the headspace on this. I'm sure this is no different than when we went through with Scott. Like I said, you can really lock this down. I can show you. I'm going to make a mess here out of this, and this will just cinch it right up. It's kind of cool. You can lock this down 2 seconds. You can feather it off if you want. That way, if you want to remove these or put them back in really easy, you can do that, and you can feather adjust this, so it's really nice. So I got 50 here. I'm just going to double check the headspace on some of these. Actually just going to open this wide up. I don't really need a lockdown. So I got my calipers here, and I'm on vacation, and I'm not exactly sure what I'm going to do. If I get up in the morning, I feel like reloading, that's what I'm going to do. But I'm just going to make sure that my calipers are reading true. I grab my one piece of 223 brass here that I know is exactly 1.75 inches. Get this headspace comparator off. And I figured I'd just do this live. And this piece of brass, I think you guys see this before, is exactly 1.750. So that's exactly what it is right there. So read true, calipers and battery is good. So I'm gonna get my headspace gauge in here. I got the insert for Creedmoor. So I gotta make sure I get this swapped out for Grendel. So I think Creedmoor takes the C375 insert, and just a quick show you here, so you guys are absolutely new. They got a little list here of what to use depending on what you're trying to check the headspace for, and you can see they don't have Grendel listed on here, so I wrote that in manually. And that requires the B350. Right now I got I think I got, like I said, the C375. And that is for the Creedmoor, because I was double checking some Creedmoor brass here. Matter of fact, got my Krieger 24-inch 6.5 Creedmoor pre-fit barrel for my Ruger Precision rifle, so waiting for this updated barrel nut to come in for PVA. So that is also coming up. Having a hell of a time getting the socket adapter for that. Currently they're out, and that's why I'm waiting on that. But this requires the B350, so I got a whole slew of headspace gauges in here. So I'm going to hunt down that B350. So here it is. So I'm going to swap this out. Make sure we're reading the correct headspace. Now this is brand new brass. Like I said before, I always like to resize new brass, not only for consistent headspace bumps so they fire form consistently, but just for neck tension. So got this zeroed out. So it looks good. Now I'm going to just double check this. I'm sure this is no different than Scott's, and it isn't. So 2065. 1.2065. 2065. Gonna hunt down some of these that are kind of generous on the headspace. 2065, and this is identical to what we went through with Scott. So on the low end, 1.2065. I'm gonna try and hunt down some of these that are 2085. 2065, 2065. Watch them all be 2065. So far they have been. So 2065, 2060. I'll get you guys a little bit closer here. I am just going through all this brass. I'm going to bump this down to the low spectrum, but I need some generous headspace here so I know when I start moving that shoulder. God, these are very consistent. 2065 so far. Now here's one's a little generous, 2070. I just need something that's got a little bit more than 2065, so when that shoulder starts to move, I know it's moving. So far these are all the same. Damn. Of course, this would do this live. You know, this is brand new brass, so once this fire forms, we get this fire form and we can custom resize that brass to whatever headspace we can lock that lock ring down on the die, so I don't have to screw this every single time I do this. Like I said, we're just trying to get some fire form brass. So far, I'm getting nothing over 2065. At least you can tell this Starline brass is very consistent. This is 2075, so I'll probably set that to the side, use that to set the die. Oh, that one's way under. Here we go, 2085. I'm going to use that one to set my die. See if I can hunt down another one. 65. At least to bump these all down to 2065 because they're all pretty much identically 2065, every single one. That's, you know, that's what's nice about this Starline brass is not only is it very inexpensive, but you're getting some quality brass for the price that you're paying. You know, obviously probably one of the best is Lapua. But like I said, I'm doing this to bump this back for consistent headspace bumps, but more for consistent neck tension. So I think that's good enough. I got a couple pieces here that are over 2065. Probably a little bit more anal than most when it comes to reloading. But like I said, same thing with Scott's. It had a range of 2065 to 2085. I'm going to bump this all down to 2065 on all these. Not only for the consistent headspace bump and consistent expansion when it fire forms, but like I said, more for a consistent neck tension than anything. So I'm going to get these lubed up. And if you're just joining us, like I said at the beginning of this video, I have the PSA 12-inch AR pistol upper rolling in for the 6.5Grendel. It's kind of going to be the ultimate deer brush rifle, and I am going to pair it up with this Vortex 1-to-8 power scope, just pretty much identical to Scott, and I need to get some Fireform brass, so I figured I'd have you guys join me getting this brass resized. Even though it's new, like I said, you should always resize new brass, more for consistent neck tension than anything. So what I like to do is use Hornady one-shot case lube, and I have my little tote here with Q-tips and the good old Imperial case wax. If you guys got any other questions on reloading, jump in and say hello, or anything to do with reloading. I'll try my best to answer your questions. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to shake this up. You can always shake up your case lube before you use it. Shake it up for a good half a minute. Never want to use case lube without shaking it up first. And good old Harold Farmer is first in the reloading. Just watched your grilling expert video. Now I'm stuck at work, about to eat my arm, laughing my ass off. That's awesome. Yeah, those ribeyes were so good. And matter of fact, we just went to the farmer's market this morning, got some fresh vegetables, and picked up some more sirloin steaks. So I think I'm gonna make that kind of a habit when I grill out. Nothing like talking about guns while you're grilling. And figure I'd have you guys join me. So like I said, we're using this EP Integrations lockdown reloading block. And I'm gonna cinch this up here, feather this off ever so slightly. And I got a couple pieces here that has some generous headspace, so when I set up this die, I know that I'm at least moving the shoulder somewhat. Actually, you know what? I gotta dump this in here anyways. So I'm gonna dump all this in here. I'm gonna leave these two pieces out. They had the generous headspace. All this headspace is really consistent at 2065, and these two pieces I left out were up to 2085, 208-ish. So at least I know when I'm moving that shoulder. That's why I selected out those two pieces. So I got this shook up. What I like to do is grab my Imperial case wax, get the smallest amount, and I don't mean a lot. I mean just like that much. It doesn't take that much. Just swipe that right in my hand, maybe just a little bit more. Spray my hand down. Spray down the brass. Got to make sure you do this if you're absolutely new to the game. Otherwise, it's going to get stuck in that die. And I just work this brass with my hand. That's got a little bit of Imperial case wax on it. Spray the hand once again, lightly dust this brass. You don't want to go overboard. You can definitely put too much lube on your brass. Yeah, working the brass with my fingers. Do that about once more, should be good to go. If you put too much lube on your brass, you can get what's called hydraulic nippling. If you ever see like dents in the side of the case body, or especially around the neck, there's literal dents in there. It's because you're getting air pockets stuck into your die because you have too much lube on your brass. So if you see those dents on the side, or especially on the neck after you resize it, it's because you have too much lube. So that should be good to go. I'm gonna grab my rag here. So Rick Brown saying, do you have a long barrel 2 for open hunting? And matter of fact, there, my good friend Rick, if you go to my playlist area, matter of fact, I'll bring that up right now. I can't remember when I did this. Is there a date? Yeah, August 10th, 2020 is when I made this playlist, last update at least. And this is on my 18-inch PSA 6.5Grendel. As a matter of fact, the first part of this playlist is kind of just an overview going over my 18-inch 6.5Grendel. And then the second and third parts of this playlist is nothing but well-edited videos, very, very detailed. I mean, if you want to get in, you're trying to learn how to reload, I don't care if it's for an AR or a bolt action, you watch these two parts of this playlist and it will at least show you my complete method from start to finish, teaching how to reload. It doesn't matter if it's 6.5Grendel, it could be anything, 223, 338 Lapua, it doesn't matter. You watch these two parts, you're just starting to learn how to reload. This is very well edited, to the point. no BS. It's going to take you through everything that we just went through with Scott's 6.5Grendel, if you've been watching that series, but edited. And it's very, very detailed. So you should also let this air dry just a little bit in regards to this brass. You don't want to size freshly lubed brass right out of the gate. You should let it air dry just a little bit. These two pieces here, I left purposely out. Matter of fact, I'll just use some Imperial case wax on that, not only to just self-coat these, but condition the die too. And I got my 6.5Grendel. This is a Hornady. So I wish this would zoom in, but it doesn't. It says 6.5Grendel here. And I'm going to use the Forster coax press. So usually I just raise the ram, get this till it touches the shell plate, back it off a little bit. I got to get this set up just to custom bump this brass back to that 1.2065, and I believe these were at 1.208. That's why I custom selected these out of this batch, just so I know that I'm moving the shoulder. So 2085. Like I said, all of these are mostly that 2065. So you can see it's less. So I'm going to bump everything down to this so it's consistent, plus for that consistent neck tension. So if you got any questions, like I said, jump in. I'll try my best to answer your questions as best I possibly can. Rick Brown saying will do. So yeah, check out that series. Not only is it super informative on just reloading in general, like I said, it doesn't have to be for a 6.5Grendel. That everything in there in regards to reloading works for everything. 223, 243, 308, 338 Lapua, I don't care what it is. AR, bolt action, it's the same thing. Other than in regards to ARs and bolt actions, it's really the only difference is the headspace bump. What I personally like to do is once the brass is fire formed for bolt action, bump the headspace back, usually 1 to 2 thousandths of an inch. I usually shoot between those two numbers, and if it's for an AR, it's usually 2 to 3 thousandths of an inch, usually about 3 thousandths of an inch for an AR. Just a little bit more generous headspace. You just don't get that luxury of feeling the headspace on how tight it is through your bolt handle like you do with a bolt action. Obviously with an AR, it's slammed home with force with a buffer and buffer spring. It's doing all the hard work for you. And with the bolt action, when you close that bolt, if you happen to have some, zero headspace or even more headspace than what's allowed in your chamber, you're not going to be able to close that bolt in your bolt action. You're going to feel that resistance through the bolt handle. With an AR, you don't get that. So you got to make sure that you allow a little bit more headspace from what your brass is fire forming at. And that's why it's important to give that, not only the generous headspace for that purpose, but also it's stripping that round off the magazine, feeding into the chamber, stripping it back out, and you need just that little extra wiggle room to make sure that your AR functions. It's really that simple. So, and just like Harold Farmer's saying here, yes, very good video series. Usually most people that are coming up to me and they're like, hey, I'm just starting to reload. What video should I watch? I instantly beeline them to this series on just the second and third parts, which is strictly start to finish. You watch every single minute of these two parts of the series. And especially if you're new, you might want to watch it maybe 2 or 3 times to really grasp what's in there. And maybe if you haven't bought your reloading equipment yet, grab a piece of paper. You can write down on a piece of paper what equipment you think you should be buying while you're watching that video. So not only you're learning, but you're also getting that list going to make those purchases, at least for your reloading equipment. So if you're joining us, like I said, I got the PSA 12-inch. I'll clip you guys out of here. I got the PSA 12-inch carbine length handguard with a 12-inch barrel. It's got the M-locks on it, and it's got a QD right here. And I'm going to put this on my PSA AR lower. and it's going to be spectacular. You know, really short pistol AR. There's no reason why I can't use it. It's classified as a pistol, at least for now, until the ATF changes their minds or makes up some new rules that they're not a legislative body to do so. Right? So whatever. I'm just gonna ride this show until the wheels fall off. So, but like I said, if you got any questions on reloading, don't hesitate to jump in that reloading room. I'll try my best to answer your question. So, just gonna refresh this quick, make sure so that my chats are running smooth here. So I think this has had enough time to dry here. So I'm gonna get just the smallest amount of Imperial case wax, at least for the first two pieces. These aren't lubed, so I got to lube these up. Plus, I'm going to use nothing but Imperial case wax to condition my die. I want some of this Imperial case wax to rub off on these first couple pieces here to line the inside of this die with Imperial case wax. You don't need a lot. We're talking very little amount here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to rub it into my fingers like that. And I'm going to grab this first piece. Matter of fact, I got to make sure which one of these has the most generous headspace so we know we're moving that shoulder. So this is 2075. And this is 2075, 208. So it doesn't really matter. So a little bit of Imperial case wax. I'm going to rub it around the body. I'm going to get some on my other fingers here. And I'm going to generously rub Imperial case wax, not generously, but I want to condition this die. I clean this die. The inside of this die is dry as a bone. So I want some of this to rub off on the inside of this die. It's called conditioning the die. I'm going to grab a Q-tip here and lightly coat this. Don't need a lot. And I'm going to go inside the case neck. And I'm going to run this through the die. So I'm going to get this extra lube off my fingers. I don't get all over my calipers. We are zeroed out. And I'm going to screw this down until I see this 208 move down to 2065. So hopefully I don't overshoot this, especially live. So I'm pretty sure I didn't move that headspace at all in that. I'm going to just keep on screwing this down until I see that headspace move. Once I start to see that headspace move, I'm going to run this other piece, make sure we're good, and then run the rest of this brass. So like I said, this isn't remotely close to being fire form. I keep on going over this, and I keep on going over this for a reason. I don't reload for a case gauge. I reload for my rifle's chamber. And just like the start of this, most of this brand new brass right out of the bag, those are new, ranges from 2065 to 2085. I custom picked out these two pieces because they had generous headspace, so when I bump this back, I can at least watch that headspace move down to 2065. I'm going to resize all this, reload this ammunition, fire form it, which is most likely going to fire form up to 217. I'm going to bump the headspace back roughly 3,000 of an inch down to 214. You can see that the 214 is well north of this 2065 because this is brand new brass. So we get this headspace bump back so it's all consistently fire forms, and then we're going to consistently bump it back. So that's what we're doing, the method to our madness. Right now I'm just setting up this die. This hasn't moved yet, but we're probably getting really close. And the second I see that start to move, so it hasn't moved yet. I keep on righty-tighty, screwing this die down until I see this headspace move. And now it's just starting to move. So 207. So I'm going to grab this other piece, lube this one up, coat the outside of this, coat the inside of the case mouth opening. You can see that's why I pulled out two pieces. I'm going to double check the headspace on this. This is 2075. Let's see if it moves that headspace. You can see I don't press down at the bottom end. I wait till this part of my press hits the linkages and I stop. I don't put any excessive force on that at all. At least when I'm bumping headspace for a consistent headspace bump. So, and if you don't touch the headspace will grow. And that hasn't moved yet. So I'm going to screw this down ever so slightly. I think we're getting really close to moving that shoulder. We're only moving this literally a thousandth of an inch. It's not much. I think I might overshot it there. Nope. Let's keep on going until it moves. There we go. So 2065. So you just witnessed that. That just bumped down from 208 roughly down to what all these are consistently at, the same 2065. So that way I know if some of these out of this batch have a little bit more headspace, that they are all going to bump down to that 2065. So I can set that one off to the side. That one's resize. It's going to be the same as all the rest. I can grab this other piece that is still at 208, 2075. This should go to 2065. Slowly, slowly, slowly stop. Not putting any pressure on that. Backing this off. And just like that, my friends, 2065. So I feel confident now. I'm going to set these off to the side. And now these are all 2065. They're down here last time we checked, just like I started. So 2065. And this shouldn't bump the headspace on this. Like I said, you should always resize new brass for consistent neck tension more than anything. But this shouldn't move this headspace. It should still say 2065, and that's exactly what it did. 2065. If I spin this, 2065. So I'm going to set this one off to the side. So this one's 2060. So we're literally talking less than a thousandth of an inch. So this should still stay 2060. Like I said, this is more for consistent neck tension. So 2060. So I'm going to actually put these out to the side here. Those are resized. And grab another piece. I'm doing this more to prove a point. 2065. Or not anything that's 2065 or less, it's not going to move that shoulder because that's what I have this full length resizing die set at. At this point, we're not even moving the shoulder. We're just reforming that neck to get consistent neck tension. So this one bumped this one just a little bit, so it's not a big deal. I spin this a little bit, sorry. So that one just went a little bit past, not a big deal. Let me double check one more here. I might back this off ever so slightly. So this one's at 2060. So if this stays at 2060, then I'm just going to give her hell. More doing this right now. I'd be going to town and be done with this already, but I'm doing this more for point. So this bumped it less than a thousandth of an inch. So I'm going to back this off ever so slightly. And when I say ever so slightly, you can see I barely turned that thing. So this one's 2075. So let's see if that moves that down to 2065. So right there, 2065. I'll do one more to prove a point, and then I'm just going to give her hell. This one's 2065. Let's see if I can find one here. It's got a little bit more headspace than 2065. And the reason why I say you should do this, and I mentioned this before in the other live reloading event, is obviously for consistent neck tension, but a lot of times these case mouth openings will get beat up. They'll get maybe a little bit of a dent in there, and this one's 2070. So 2065. That's what's called consistent headspace bumps. So at this point, I'm just going to give her hell. Good to go. Set this off to the side here. And I feel confident now. I don't need to measure these anymore. Like I said, if I wasn't doing this live, I'd be done already. So that's what you have to do when you're setting up your die. And I just did that live. If you want a consistent headspace bump, really getting a consistent headspace bump is really all about running your press correctly in regards to the amount of pressure you put on your press handle. If I was to take this and ram it home with force, and then at the very bottom where it bottoms out, if I was to press down on this with massive force, I guarantee you I will overshoot my headspace every single time. So you could see while I'm doing this consistently. And the most important part is whether or not your press overcams or not. In this situation, at least with getting a consistent headspace bump on the force or coax press, you see I come down, and then where this part of my press handle hits my linkage and stops, that's when I don't put any more force on this. It's when it feathers down and this touches my linkages, I stop. And if you want consistent headspace bumps, consistent headspace, consistent ammunition, that's what you have to do. Like I said, if one piece you ram down on that and put massive force, and the next piece you feather it down until it lightly touches, your headspace could easily have 3 to 4 thousandths of an inch difference easily. So you really got to make sure that you're running that press handle consistently. And it doesn't matter what the press is. It doesn't matter if it's force or coax press like this, or you're using a Hornady lock and load, or you're using, you know, a Dillon 750 XL or whatever, Redding turret press. It just doesn't matter. If you want consistent headspace bumps, that's what you have to do. So let me read some of your comments here. Also, Rick Brown saying velocity on a 12-inch. To be honest with you, I don't know because I've never owned one. Like I said, that's coming in here soon. That'll be here next week. So that's why I'm doing this, to get some reloads going so I can get 50 pieces of brass fire for them to start that video series on the PSA 12-inch AR pistol. So I'll have my 18-inch PSA AR rifle. I'll have my 12-inch now next week, using my PSA 5.56 AR lower pistol. I mean, literally, I'm just going to take this upper and mount it up with my AR-15 223 or 5.56 AR pistol lower. It's totally legal. And that's got a pistol brace on it until the ATF decides to make some non-legislative actions that they shouldn't be doing. They only enforce the law. They don't make laws. That's really important. Key words there. And so, like I said, I'm just going to take my 5.56 upper off my AR lower, put that on that, and that's going to have, I have plenty 6.5 Grendel mags, and I'm going to mount my Vortex 1.8 power Vortex Strike Eagle on there with a Vortex mount. So yeah, if you're just joining us, like I said, that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to get some brass rolling here for reloads so I can fire form it for the specific upper. But hopefully that answers your question there, Rick Brown. And Rick Brown's asking, do you like the coax press? And I absolutely love the coax press. And what's really nice about the coax press, and I mentioned this before, is its free float nature. So you can see on the shell plate here, the shell plate, if I move this up here, I'll try my best to do this. This shell plate, these jaws, they slide left to right. So that gives you some free float left to right. And then it's all about free floating your XY axis. So free float left to right. And then I'm not going to touch this sizing die right now because I have this set for my headspace, if I screw this ever so slightly, I could screw up that headspace off just a thousandth of an inch. But this sizing die will slide in to this part of the Forster coax press, and it's not really sloppy or loose in there, but there's a little bit of wiggle room, and this die has a little bit of play front to back. And the S jaws here, they call them, have a little play left to right. So the left to right, the front to back, that little bit of play, what that does is it gives you concentricity in regards to making sure when you seat that bullet, that bullet is in line with the center of the brass. And that's why this really shines. A lot of precision reloaders love to use the Forster coax press just because of that free float nature. You know, if your plate is a little out of alignment, or your locking ring in regards to how centered the die is in the middle of that locking ring, that's a little out, that little bit of play, when these two marry up, it eliminates that non-concentricity and will make it concentricity, is that even a word? Concentricity, more concentricity in regards to seating your bullet. So that's where the Forster coax press really comes into play. And you know, it's an amazing press for the money, because you can get this press usually shipped off of Brownells when they're in stock with a promo code for about 350 bucks. You're getting a lot of bang for your buck. In my opinion, probably one of the best single stage presses that money can buy. And I'm actually just going to quick double check this next piece here, making sure we're staying true in regards to our headspace. So make sure I'm zeroed out here. So this one's a little bit over 20, so still 2065. It's still good. Just for shits and giggles, baby, I'll measure another one just because I can. So this one overshot just a little bit. Well, it's 2060, so that's still not too bad. Do one more. Apparently I like to babble too much. So this is, I'm going to back this off ever so slightly. It's down to 2060. You know, the thing is, you can try and get this absolutely perfect. This is already starting at 2060. You can see here, this is all the way, I haven't resized this yet. This is 2060, 2055. So yeah, that's not me. That's just the brass where it's starting out at. So, see here as well. It's got some comments here. So, no expector. Just saw you were on. You'll love the 12-inch 6.5Grendel. Out of a dozen ARs I've built over the years, mine is one of the favorites, and that's awesome. Like I said, I have a 10.5-inch 5.56. I have a 10.5-inch 7.62 by 39. I got a 10.5-inch 9mm. I mean, what else do I have? I'm starting to lose track of all the pistols I have. I have at least 5 different 9mm AR pistols, some down to 5 inches, all the way up to 10.5 inches. I got the PSA, I got the FM9, you name it, I got it. Like I said, I got a 6.5Grendel, an 18-inch. Scott just got his 20-inch. And now I got this 12-inch upper rolling in. That's, like you said, if you're just joining us, that's what I'm doing here, getting some reloads going. I can't remember if I ran this through. Just in case, I'll run it through again. So it never hurts. So once I get these all sized up, I'm going to throw this into the Frankfurt Arsenal stainless steel tumbler over here to get all the lube off the brass. And then I'm going to get this in the Lyman Cyclone case dryer to get it dry, so I can trim that brass, do brass prep, seat primers, drop powder with the FX120i, and seat some bullets, just like we did with Scott's 6.5Grendel. So you can see I'm running this press handle very consistently. same speed all the way through, come down, slow down, I bottom out, no pressure put down on it. The second I feel this stop, I stop. And if you want consistent headspace bumps, you want that precision ammo, that's what you need to do. Like I said, if you come down super fast and you put an insane amount of pressure and push on this with an insane amount of force, guarantee you're going to overshoot that headspace thousandths of an inch. I better be probably 3/1000 of an inch. If I was to come down and put an excessive amount of force at the bottom, I'd probably overshoot the headspace by 3/1000 of an inch, and you just ruin the headspace in comparison to the rest of your pieces. It's all about consistency. So Davey J is saying the 12 inch is perfect for 6.5 Grendel, and probably what I'll end up doing on that is getting an adjustable gas block. I think you really, something like that, especially with that much powder behind it, such a short barrel, and I'm sure that's why they go from 10.5 to 12 inches, is not only for getting that little bit of extra revolution. I'm curious of what this has for a twist rate on it. So they're saying this has a twist rate of 1 1/8. So this is a 12 inch. Barrel profile is A2. It's 416 stainless steel. It's got a muzzle threading of 5/8 24, and it has a 1 1/8 twist. And I know PSA, they sell their adjustable gas blocks for 0.75, so I'll probably end up, oh, it does, awesome. It comes with an adjustable gas block, so I don't have to screw this. Fantastic. I can't really see it in these pictures here. Yeah, looks like you can't see it, but according to this, it has an adjustable gas block. So that is spectacular. And they got every single upper known to man here. You know, 20 inch, 12 inch flavors, 2 different handguard flavors. Some of these have scopes already on them. That's exactly what I'm doing, the Vortex 1 to 8 with that exact same mount. But yeah, this is the one I got coming in right here. And the fact that I just found out that has an adjustable gas block, that is awesome. And this has a 12 inch handguard with the 12 inch barrel. So I kind of like that longer barrel, handguard, I mean. And it comes with the bolt carrier group. So that's freaking awesome. That's going to be awesome. I cannot wait. That's going to be the ultimate deer hunting rig. And that will easily go out to 500 yards. I bet accurately too, even though it's a 12 inch barrel. You know, it's a 1 1/8 twist. So for those that are absolutely new to the game, that bullet will make 1 full revolution in 8 inches of barrel. So, you know, if it's a 12 inch, so it's a 12 inch barrel, and for every 8 inches, that bullet's going to make 1 full revolution. So if I take 12 and divide it by 8, that bullet's going to make 1.5 full revolutions before once it leaves the casing, goes down the bore and exits the muzzle, that bullet is going to make 1.5 revolutions. You know, it's got to make obviously a little over 1 for that bullet to stabilize. And it will make 1 full revolution at 8 inches, and then it's going to have, you know, another chance to make another half of a revolution before it exits the muzzle. So I'm curious how these different bullet flavors are going to perform. You know, this is really all I have in stock for 6.5 Grendel are these ELD matches and these SSTs. I know at least in my 5.56 10.5 inch AR pistol that has a 1 in 7 twist, usually a 1 in 7 twist, and that's a faster twist rate. It's turning in 7 inches of barrel. It's not like a 1 in 8 where it turns 1 full revolution in 8, and it's not a 1 in 9. Just doesn't make 1 full revolution in 9 inches of barrel. The lower the number, actually, the faster the twist rate. You'd think usually on longer barrel rifles, they like a heavier bullet. But in my 10.5 inch, I did the low development. My 10.5 inch 5.56 with a 1 in 7 twist hates heavy bullets. It actually prefers lighter bullets, 55 grain VMAX, 60 grain VMAX, and that's completely due to the fact it's a short barrel. You know, if it had more like a 16, 18, 20, 24-inch barrel, then it probably would prefer a heavier bullet because it has more opportunity to get more of a revolution on that bullet before it exits the muzzle. So let me double check some of your other comments here. So Rick Brown saying, gotta go, we'll watch your videos, thanks. So Echoes, Reloading Chamber says, officers, how long have you been using the coax press? I have the B5 as well. And I think I got this, don't quote me on this, but I think I've had this for almost 3 years now, and definitely over 2. Before that, I was just using the LNL plate, LNL progressive press, which definitely can make precision reloads, but in my opinion, the concentricity of the force of coax press is hard to beat, especially for the money. So hopefully that answers your question. So Davey J saying, anyone building a 6 ARC from one of Kenny's barrels at Desert Precision Gunworks, I'm very tempted to build a long. So definitely, if you want a quality gunsmith, I don't think you could ask for better than Kenny with Eagle Eye or Desert Precision Gunworks. You know, I know he's a huge fan of the 6 ARC. Personally, if I was to have him make up something right now, it would probably be a 6 Creedmoor. You know, I'm kicking around, I know everyone's on the 6 Creedmoor, 6 Dasher bandwagon because of PRS and all that. And it's good for a good reason. So you can watch that bullet fly through the air and you got easy follow-ups. And that's the reason why they use that during PRS. I actually have a 243. It's just not that steep of a shoulder on the brass itself in relationship to something like a 6 ARC or a 6 Dasher or 6 Creedmoor. They all shoot the same exact bullet, just the casing's different, chamber's different in regards to the shape of the casing. That's literally all it is. That's why they put the steeper necks on the shoulders on this, because they seal off better. You know, you look at a 243, it's got a pretty non-aggressive neck on it in regards to its angle, but you know, you get to those, you know, 6 Creedmoor, especially 6 Dasher, you know, it's got a little more steeper shoulder on it in regards to the angle coming off the neck. It just seals off better, and that's why those guys use that. And you know, I think if I was to get something made up right now from scratch, custom gun, it'd probably be a 6 Creedmoor. It's just 6 Creedmoor, easy to find the brass. That's probably the main reason why I would end up picking it in regards to something like a 6 Dasher. I think that's probably the 2 most popular cartridges right now in the PRS circuit, 6 Dasher or 6 Creedmoor. You know, if you want that extra edge, you could probably go with a 6 Dasher. But you know, the only reason why I'm going with this on my RPR with a 6.5 Creedmoor is because I got literally an insane amount of 6.5 142 grain Sierra Match Kings. I mean, what do I got? These are 500 pieces per, so 5, 1, 1.5, 2, so 2,000 bullets there. Plus I got another thing of the Bergers here in the 140 grain. You know, so I got bullets up the yin yang for the 6.5 Creedmoor, plus the brass, the boot. So I got tons of Starline. I think this is 500 pieces here, 6.5 Creedmoor brass. I even got some more Grendel brass here too. This is actually some 9mm I need to clean up. This is really dirty. This is actually the 1,000 pieces from the PSA Dagger event that I got to clean up. There's 1,000 pieces of 9mm in here. I gotta clean that up. Matter of fact, I'm gonna set that off to the side. And got the good old once fired military 5.56 Lake City brass here. Matter of fact, I just got a bunch more of that in. Literally swimming in 5.56. I got 5.56 Lake City brass coming out my yin yang here. There's no shortage of 5.56 Lake City brass in the Elsters community. Matter of fact, I got a whole another bin of 5.56 Lake City brass. I mean, I'm just, what is this? This is 9mm. 9mm brass. Probably 10,000 pieces there, guessing. This is 7.62 by 39, 7.62 by 51 Lake City once fired. What I got here, this is all crappy Hornady Creedmoor brass. Probably fire that out of my AR. Use the Starline on my bolt action. What do I got down here? This is 45 ACP. So it's all 45 ACP brass plus some extra 6.5 Creedmoor crappy brass. So that's why I recommend getting the Starline brass. Just a better product, especially for the money. Try and stay away from that Hornady brass if you can, unless you're in dire straits. So yeah, let me finish this up. I'm gonna get this in the wash, and then better half and I got other things to do. I figured I'd do this live and wrap this up. So finish this up, and I got to get cruising here because we got to take off. And that's it. So I'd like to answer your questions here as much as I could, but I know I got to take off here. We got to be somewhere at 11. So I'm going to get this into the wash here and wrap this up. So yeah, expect this series to be coming in here soon on the 12-inch 6.5 Grendel AR. So let me just double check. I'll see if I can answer your questions really quick. Otherwise I got to cruise in here. So Echo's saying, if you're building one of Kenny's AR-15s with one of his barrels go the 26-inch arc, yeah, especially he can custom size that headspace and more importantly, the jump. I know if your jump is excessive on those arcs, they shoot like crap. I've never seen anyone with a factory arc with any good luck. If you got excessive jump, it's gonna shoot like crap, most likely. Ryan Hutchins saying no pressure signs either. Davey Echo, good to know. I may have to go 18 inches then. I don't shoot very far here in Michigan anyways. 6.5 Ryan saying 6.5 Grendel. Forgot to mention that. So otherwise, I think that's it. I'm going to wrap this up. I'm going to get this into the wash. And just a quick show you. Get this into the stainless steel wash, and after that, after roughly about 45 minutes with hot water, Dawn. I don't need Lemmy Shine in this because this stuff is already clean, but if it was dirty, I would probably use some Lemmy Shine. Just to let you know, you can use this in comparison to Lemmy Shine. You get a ton of this off Amazon for super cheap. That's all it is citric acid, which really, that's all Lemmy Shine really is. And I'll run this for 45 minutes, take this out and put in the Lyman cyclone case dryer for about 2 hours to get this dry. And then I'll see you guys in the next part of this live event. So thanks for joining me, and I will see you guys in the next part of this live series.